Welcome back to my show, Midnight Movie Lovers. I have a philosophy. Midnight movies are like pizza. No matter how bad, they're still really good. On tonight's show, we'll be looking at how teenagers are portrayed in midnight movies. That's right, you heard me. Teenagers. Because after all, the word teenager only came into use after World War II. Those far-off, innocent days when American Idol meant Ritchie Valens and Buddy Holly. It was the golden era of America, from the swinging 1950s to the rock and rolling 1960s. Monsters, aliens, and villains move aside. The teenagers are coming.
This particular film from 1967, a time when, despite the hippies and the freaks, the United States was still a fine country. A place where men dressed in specially modified ape suits could still wander proudly through the forest hinterlands. America was a rich land of opportunity for midnight movie storylines. A new frontier where teenage boys and girls could make out in their cars or even just sit around looking bored. In this mythical landscape, square-jawed lawmen wearing cowboy hats could stand around looking vigilant in a close-up for just a few seconds too long.
That's a taste of Night Fright, a movie that deserves every bit of its 2.1 rating on IMDb. It's a sensitive study of what happens when cosmic rays go terribly wrong on an experiment with animals and monsters attack. But before we go there, let's go back to 1959's Teenagers from Outer Space. Just a warning, though. This next scene is for the squeamish.
What the most fashionably dressed teenage alien was wearing back in 1959.
You are alone?
Could be.
Where are the others? The ones who were with you?
Why do you want to know that?
Tell me where they are.
Say, who are you anyway?
Never mind. Just tell me.
Well, they left here. They're gone.
Where did they go?
I think you better get out of here before I call the police.
You will call no one. You will do as I say.
That's what you think, mister.
I said you will call no one.
Check out the Teenage Aliens ray gun in action, folks. Apparently, it can destroy anything in its path. The nasty-looking hombre with a laser gun was one of the alien teenagers in Teenagers from Outer Space, even if he did look about 27. How about that soundtrack? Elevator music from hell. And along this stereotypical suburban street comes another alien adolescent. Only this one turns out to be a lot more friendly. I guess you'd have to say he's the cute one. Excuse me while I gag.
What's that?
I fell to see the room for rent, Grandpa. You shot.
Yeah, naturally all aliens read English.
Swimming at Alice's and I haven't even changed.
Oh, for sure. Apparently they used flight suits decorated with masking tape and white socks pulled over dress shoes to create the look. To understand is to forgive, however. The budget for this epic was just around $14,000.
How do you do, son? Just arrived in town? Don't believe I've seen you around before.
I just arrived.
What about your funny clothes?
Derek.
Derek?
Derek. The empty
Derek? What kind of name is that for an alien? It's worse than, like, I don't know, Nigel?
You knew your brother?
Did I know my brother? That's a strange question to ask.
Back on Derek's scary planet, children are separated from their brothers and sisters at birth, which is why the schmaltzy
I never
music.
knew any brothers or sisters.
Your mother and father decided to play it smart and avoid a lot of squabbles.
This old tub of lard is Grandpa, but he's not an authority figure to be despised like most parental and older generation figures in most teenage flicks from the time. He's meant to be all cuddly and cozy. I mean, I don't find him to be that way, but, you know.
Right in here, Derek. I hope you like the view. There are plenty of windows.
What's the matter? You act like you've never seen the inside of an automobile before.
Well, that's because I ain't never seen the inside of an automobile before, you redneck freak.
Texans and aliens. I love the dynamic. I can relate more to the aliens. We'll finish the show with a fabulous, and I do mean fabulous, finale from Teenagers from Outer Space. But for now, let's rejoin the world of color with some more clips from Night Fright, the teenage monster movie from the heady days of 1967.
All the joys of youth can be found in this 11-minute-long pre-credit sequence of the 1967 midnight movie, Night Fright. In this highly original and deeply meaningful storyline, an alien spacecraft crash lands somewhere in the rural 1960s. A creature escapes from the craft and proceeds to terrorize the local population. The local population are a combination of crusty old rednecks with 12-gauge shotguns and frisky teenagers. The kind of frisky teenagers who go running through the forest in 11-minute pre-credit sequences. Savagely mutilated off-camera corpse alert. Spot the jump cut? Night Fright. Ouch. Starring John Agar, eh? I always think before an actor can star in something, they have to actually be a star first. Another unexpected cut to a driving montage as an added feature in the opening credits. Bill Thurman? Any relation to Uma? Well, we'll never know.
The sheriff isn't in his office.
Did you try Darlene's sister?
Yeah, but she had already left the hospital. I called her house and she isn't there either.
Okay. We'd better go to the lake and tell the gang to stay away from there.
Yeah,
Whatever you say.
where all the hep cats hang out.
Hey, what about your order?
What about it, dollface? I'm a teenager. I don't follow orders. There. Now this is what makes this a youth movie of its time. Red stovepipe trousers at the drugstore and secret dance parties held in the woods. Check out the wiggle, the camel walk, the pony. Anyway, what can you say about that music? It's sort of like how drum and bass might have sounded if people had called it drum and bass back in 1967. Someone around here is definitely on a roll. But I know what you're thinking. Rhythmically challenged adolescence is one thing. But when is the alien monster going to show up and scare the granola out of these self-satisfied woodland hipsters? All good things to those who wait. This is the final trouser-stainingly exciting sequence from Night Fright. It looks a bit like the trouser-stainingly exciting opening sequence, what with the chase sequence and everything. But no, there at last is our alien monster, and isn't it a beauty? Lovely example of an extraterrestrial Neanderthal-type creature in the wild. When these movies came out, you have to wonder if audiences ever wondered the following. Why would aliens send a ship loaded with just one creature hurtling across the vast chasms of space? Once on terra firma, planet Earth, it can only run around going grrr at people and frightening domestic animals. I mean, it's not much of an advance guard for a future invasion, is it? But maybe it's not that different to when the US and the Soviets used to send dogs and monkeys into space. You know, this is strictly first-wave alien invasion stuff. The smart ones come later. Anyway, I'm rambling again. Yep, the gang's all here. The welcoming committee. Clearly, none of these guys are what you'd call teenagers. I guess the girl running through the woods in a miniskirt must be the decoy, and this chick must be the bait. This is because it was a well-known fact that grunting aliens are only interested in one thing: chicks. I guess they really want to find out if Earth girls are easy. This is the part of the film that demonstrates how the protean creativity of adolescence, when directed by the so-called straights of square society, could be harnessed to achieve incredible results, such as leading a big hairy alien monster into a death trap, as you are about to witness. Why, you almost feel sorry for the poor hunted thing. So that's it. They just blow him up like that, without little bits of charred monster flesh splattering onto the screen of the camera, making you reach for the popcorn bag to throw up in. They sure did things differently back then. Nobody's been hurt. How wonderful. But wait, somebody's missing. No, here they are. The teenagers. Here's that other teenager versus alien monster scene. Teenagers battle the Thing. Now keep your eyes wide open, because any minute now we get a glimpse of the Thing. Whoa. There it is! And how thingy it is, too. And we leap straight into the action, with the teenagers going on an all-assault against one of the most ridiculous-looking monsters ever committed to celluloid. Midnight Movie Gold, right here. Yes. This is for Best Worst Monster Murder in a Teenage Drama. The supposedly mummified man from Teenagers Battle the Thing. Vandals, hooligans, ruffians. I guess the message of all these films was the same. And that was this. If you were a monster in the 1950s, especially one in a really bad costume, you would have been best advised to stay out of the path of teenagers. The most unexpectedly powerful force in the universe. And all because they'd listened to a little Elvis Presley. Powerful stuff, that rock and roll. Hey, Pa. We're all safe now. Let's go home and listen to the Beach Boys.
What a monstrosity. But I love it beyond all measure. But besides battling monsters, teenagers found time to just chillax and have some fun. Exhibit A, the 1962 prehistoric caveman versus teenager epic, évad.
Yeah, so naturally there's a teenage couple in a dune buggy that gets stuck in the desert around Palm Springs, right smack dab in the middle of this movie. You'll have to wait and see. Anyway, what they don't know yet is that out there with them in the desert is a monster. Some kind of mutant Neanderthal throwback named évad. Finally, the dune buggy driving montage we've all been waiting for. And a little bit of surf rock.
There you are, Deep Canyon.
I don't see that anyplace.
Don't they make a cute couple? I mean, I guess. This supposedly teenage girl looks like Nancy Reagan in her 30s or somebody's aunt with that beehive hairstyle. Clearly both world-class actors. Wanted, a huge caveman with a club that he bops people on the head with.
Ah, that Igor. He's so sarcastic sometimes about my beautiful midnight movies. Oh well, you know what I say. If you can't say anything nice about anybody, then come sit next to me. You get it? No? Then wake up! Because we'll have more from Teenagers from Outer Space after the break. Hello again. I'm back for the graveyard shift. Tonight, we breathe life back into long-dead B-movies that dealt with the pressing issues of the 1950s and 1960s. What's that? Not the Cold War. What? Not the atom bomb. The teenager. The teenager was a word that really only came into use in America after the Second World War. The idea in midnight movies was to place the teenagers against werewolves, Dracula, aliens, or in this case, giant cavemen, and see who came out on top. Take a look.
That is profound. Yeah, these are the hip, cool, and really radical opening titles to évad, movie from the Stone Ages of 1962. Around the time the Beach Boys were doing their thing, and America never felt so optimistic. Nice graphics. Back to groovy dancing. The shimmy. The shuffle. The partner swap. The blonde kid is Arch Hall Jr. This movie was intended to be a kind of vehicle for him. Yeah, back in the good old days when Bond wore safari suits and Union Jack boxer shorts. So, anyway, this sequence gives you the flavor of the whole movie, really. An interminably long and badly acted saga of chippy Californian teenagers trying, but not very hard, to track down the last surviving connection to the missing link. On their breaks, they hold pool parties and play beach blanket bingo. Now and then, some puppy love argument spills over into some very low-level violence, but not that often. Quick, évad! We need you here to liven things up. The lawmen in town seem to think something's up. And yes, here he is. Look at that walk. Such poise, such confidence. Damn the club.
Ego! Ego!
Say my name, say my name. Stunning fight choreography.
No, don't!
Yeah, you know you want it.
No!
Ega love woman. Ega make bride. They must have rehearsed that pickup about 20 times. He's a living, breathing, missing link to our prehistoric past. So what do you suppose they go and do? Shoot to kill, that's what.
Don't shoot! He doesn't understand!
I know it's rough, but that's standard midnight movie law enforcement policy. Shoot first, then ask questions. If this movie had been made in the last 10 years, they'd have captured the caveman, stuck him in a lab to run tests on him, and tried to psychoanalyze him by now. So maybe a quick exit was preferable. I guess Neanderthals don't bleed.
Oh well, so much for pathos. Bring on the teenage zombies.
Teenage Zombies is actually a slightly misleading title. There are teenagers in this movie, but they're not actually zombies. Just bad actors as far as I can make out. The byline for the film was young pawns thrust into pulsating cages of horror in a sadistic experiment.
You'll have to excuse Ivan's manners. He's very strong and sometimes forgets himself. If you behave yourselves, he'll not hurt you.
The guy with the Sanchez mustache must be on soporifics.
I'll first answer your other question. We've taken care of your boat, and none of you will leave here. Instead, you will help me in some very important work.
Help her in some very important work? That's code for hideous experiments.
Look, what kind of a creep joint is this?
Now enjoy as the teenagers do the good cop, bad cop routine. First you threaten, then cajole.
Oh, yeah? Well, you won't get away with it. We've got some friends waiting for us. When we don't show up, they're going to follow us out here looking for us, and they're going to bust up this whole weird place.
Please let us go. We'll promise never to tell anyone about it.
I'm afraid that's impossible. And as far as someone discovering this island, well, that doesn't bother me in the least. You'll have to excuse me now. I have work to do.
Yeah, very busy
Remember what I
sharpening
said.
the tools.
Behave yourselves, and you won't get hurt.
Later, in Teenage Zombies, cutie alert, Ivan serves the teenagers their dinner, a nutritious yet savory meal. My name is Ivan. Your dinner tonight is worms. This actually is one of the more exciting scenes, until the very end anyway, when the teenagers escape. Yes, this would be the thrilling climax of this riveting movie. The teenagers have not only escaped, they've discovered the antidote to the serum that turns them into, not zombies exactly, just very slow learners. So by teenage zombies, what they actually meant was temporarily hypnotized adolescents. Actually, adolescents, in other words. But I guess teenage zombies does sound better on a poster. And the action continues. There really is nothing like a good fight scene, is there? And this is nothing like a good fight scene. I was thinking just that.
Pull yourself together. We have to stop them.
The police boat. We'll have to put it away with the other boats before they reach it.
Yeah, like what she said. Meanwhile, downstairs, stirring from its slumber, a mutant ape, product of another gruesome experiment. Basement apes. Get it? This is their big monster effect. As you can see, it's a low-tech solution to what is normally a high-tech problem. I mean, why waste unnecessary budget on making mutant costumes when you can simply hire an ape suit from Central Casting? Well, as you can see, it doesn't do much except hang about in the lab making rude bodily noises. Hey, monster. Smell you. Shouldn't have to tell you.
It's coming from there.
The teenagers think that's hilarious. Oh, they've got him angry. You won't like the ape suit monster when he angry.
Come on, hurry!
Almost needless to say, good triumphs over evil in Teenage Zombies. How tragic is that?
This is the scene, which was more or less compulsory in these sorts of movies, where some government official congratulates the teenagers for cracking open a case nobody was even aware of at the highest level of military intelligence.
I'm Major Coleman. Are you Johnson? I was placed in temporary charge of the substation. From what I understand, the job will be permanent.
Some sort of subspecies. But look at the teenagers. They look droll.
We're mighty proud of them.
If we did anything, sir, it was to save our own neck. Most of us were scared stiff.
Well, we know where Scooby-Doo got it.
And you performed a great service. This group was the largest menace to United States security we've ever had.
We've got time for just one more Teenagers from Outer Space clip, so let's make it a good one. Definitely an Igor Award-worthy moment.
Derek, the nice alien, has rejoined his crew. But has he gone back over to their side? Watch, listen, and learn.
I'm ready to take my punishment.
There will be no punishment, my son.
Aww.
You are my father?
I am. I have watched your progress since you were born. You have excelled in all things. I was most disappointed to learn that you were deserted. I came this trip hoping I would find you had returned.
Has what I have done not disqualified me? Am I still to...
You are back. That is all that matters. Your mistakes were made because of that book. You blurred your mind,
book?
But only temporarily.
I think you can say that for most of the population of planet Earth.
Will not the government structure collapse in your absence?
We will return immediately, as soon as the Gargans are unloaded from the fleet of ships. The people are unaware that I am gone.
Yes, we must leave quickly. If your absence were discovered, it would likely spark the beginning of a revolution. I am not the only one who had that book, Father.
Yes, I
Sounds
know.
like a thinly veiled threat to me.
Who may have such books.
Yes, I see the fleet is approaching. They are flying from radio signals from the guide ship, are they not?
What?
Let me be the one to direct them in for landing.
Captain, are the ships close enough to receive the landing signals?
Momentarily, but...
Then go below, Derek. You will bring them in.
So the question of the day, has Derek gone back over to the dark side, or is he just messing with them?
Derek, what are you doing? Unbolt the hatch.
Okay, so who didn't see that coming?
Like Derek went in first and closed the entranceway.
Whatever's in the sky, they're getting mighty close.
Clearly, he's the brains of the group.
He's not doing what they want him to, I'm sure.
Master control to fleet. Master control to fleet. Increase speed. Set flight pattern to -0.08. Increase speed.
The ships seem to be converging and increasing their speed. They cannot land.
He doesn't plan to have them land, but crash. They're coming right at us.
Derek's doing it. That's what he planned.
But he's
a little emotion.
kill too. Get down inside the cave.
Hold course steady.
Hold course steady, eh? And a seamless transition to what only the very observant might just suspect as being stock footage of a volcano erupting. Unless, of course, you buy the idea that this is what it looks like when an entire fleet of spaceships crash lands on Earth. You also have to assume that under that plume of smoke is an entire fleet of alien spaceships. You have to assume that because there wasn't enough room in the budget for a fleet of crashed alien spaceships. But I don't mean to make fun. This is clearly meant to be a tender scene. You can tell that by the Somewhere Over the Rainbow musical score. Oh, how beautiful. I think I'm going to cry.
I shall make the earth my home, and I shall never, never leave it.
I feel sick. So it's goodbye for now, midnight movie lovers. Sleep tight and don't let the bed bugs bite. And if they bite you, bite them harder.